Hi guys, we're going to read a couple chapters of Mac Be Kid Spy, Mac Undercover, and we left off where Mac says that he quits. So we got to find out if he really does mean that, or if he's really going to quit. Let's find out. Chapter 14 is Rain in the Dark. It began to rain. I walked along the river. When you are feeling sad, it is wonderful to walk alone in Paris, along the river in the rain. But I was not walking alone. I was walking with Freddie, who was wagging his tail and licking everything. "Stop it, Freddie," I said. "You're ruining the mood." But Freddie didn't stop. At this point, it should be clear that Freddie didn't listen to anybody. I tried to block out Freddie and sink into my sadness. How much money was left in my envelope? Was it enough to buy a plane ticket home? Could I make it back in time for Derek LaFoy's karate birthday party? Did it even matter since I hadn't been invited? "Does any of it matter?" I asked Freddie, who was licking a cobblestone. Nearby, in a phone booth, a telephone rang. Ring, ring! It was the middle of the night. Nobody was around. The phone rang and rang. I walked over and picked it up. It was for me. "Hello," said the Queen. "Hello," I said. There was an unpleasant crunching sound on the line. "Please excuse my crunching," said the Queen. "I'm just having some biscuits before bedtime. How is it going with the spoon?" "Awful," I said. "The President of France didn't take it." "He didn't?" "No, he didn't even know you stuck your tongue out at him." "Oh," said the Queen. "Well, I hope you didn't tell him." I did. "Oh dear," said the Queen. "Anyway," I said, "I quit." "Well," said the Queen, "I can see why." "You're not going to ask me to finish the case?" "No," said the Queen. "Why would I?" "Is this some mind game?" I asked. "Are you trying to trick me into staying on the case?" "Not at all," said the Queen. "You've done nothing so far but muck things up." "Well, you haven't exactly helped," I said. "You sent me to the President of France." "He left a note," said the Queen. "He didn't write it," I said. "Then who did?" I dropped the phone. It dangled from its cord. It was the 1980s. Phones had cords. You can look that up. I pulled the note out of my pocket and picked the phone back up. "Who wrote that note?" I said. "That's what I just asked you," said the Queen. "Whoever wrote it must have known that you stuck your tongue out at the President of France. Whoever wrote it must have been at that lunch." "Listen, Mac," said the Queen. "If you are insinuating that I stole my own spoon, was there anyone else at that lunch?" "What? Was anyone else at lunch with you that day?" The line was quiet while the Queen thought. "Well, let's see. There was me and the President of France." I rolled my eyes. "Are you rolling your eyes?" asked the Queen. "Yes," I said. "Well, stop. Picturing you over there in France rolling your eyes is ruining my concentration. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the lunch. It was me and the President of France and a young man with light hair and serious eyes and a sad smile. I believe he was an officer from the KGB. "The KGB! "There's no use shouting," said the Queen. "1980s payphone technology is perfectly adequate for—" I stopped listening. Of course it was the KGB. The backward letters in the note were Cyrillic. The KGB man had disguised himself as a museum guard, and come to think of it, as the flight attendant. I've been followed this whole time by a secret agent of the KGB, and I'd been one-upped again and again. Well, it was time to turn the tables. I hung up on the Queen of England and caught a plane to Moscow. Look at all of his different disguises. Chapter 15, KGB HQ. This is Lubyanka Square. It is home to two famous buildings. One of these buildings is the headquarters of a giant Russian toy store called Detsky Mir. Detsky Mir means Kids World. Cool name. The other building is called the Lubyanka. It was the headquarters of the KGB, the biggest toy store in Europe set directly across from a command center for spies. It still does. You can look that up. This building on the left is full of toys. This building on the right is full of spies. Where would you rather go? I sighed and went right. With Freddie in my arms, I burst through the front doors of KGB headquarters. A spy sat at a desk. I demand to see, I said, I don't know his name. He's a KGB man. We've been expecting you, said the spy behind the desk. Come right in. I was shown to an office and asked to wait. He will be here shortly, said the spy. He is just getting in from Paris and his flight was delayed. Okay, I said. The walls of the office were pale green and lined with wooden bookshelves. There was a handsome desk with a phone, a lamp, and a hand-carved chess set. There was a bowl of chocolates, too. A large window looked out onto a snowy square. It was nice. The office door opened and the KGB man entered, carrying a suitcase. I recognized him from the plane and the Louvre, although he was now dressed in a drab and severe KGB uniform. He smiled sadly when he saw me. Ah, he said, you beat me here. Very good, very good. And I see you helped yourself to those chocolates. I blushed. The KGB man was already gaining the upper hand. I had to take control. I rose from my chair. I'm here for the spoon. Please, said the KGB man. Sit down and we can discuss this like secret agents. The KGB man sat at his desk and spoke some Russian into a phone. There was a knock on the door and someone delivered a silver tray. Coffee? The KGB man asked. I don't drink coffee, I said. I'm a kid. Of course, said the KGB man. Perhaps some milk then. Well, I said, I do like milk. The KGB man poured himself some coffee from a tall and shiny pot. Then he lifted a silver pitcher and poured me a cup of milk. The cup was blue and white and decorated with tiny, complicated patterns. I'd never drunk milk from a cup so beautiful. The KGB man splashed some milk into his coffee and took a spoon from the breast pocket of his coat, which he used to slowly stir his drink. The spoon was gold, etched with leaves and the faces of monsters. 4 pearls were set in its handle. I stood up again. The coronation spoon! The KGB man looked down and shrugged. Ah, he said, this spoon? It is a souvenir. I picked it up in England. He laid it down on the tray. The KGB man opened his suitcase and took out my Game Boy and the Mona Lisa. Yes, he said, I found some wonderful souvenirs on my trip. You fiend, I cried. Why are you taking all this stuff? And why are you showing it all to me? Why indeed, said the KGB man. It is not for you to understand why. You are a spy. Secret agents are like children. They do what they are told. You hear your mother and Craig arguing late one night. The next morning they tell you that you are going to summer camp. You may ask why, and your mother may answer, but that does not mean you will understand. Wait, I said. That happened to me. How do you know that happened to me? The KGB man shrugged. I am KGB. He pointed to his desk. The world is a chessboard. Secret agents, they are merely pieces, moving in little patterns across the squares, powerless. But you're a secret agent, I said. For now. He picked up a pawn and twirled it between his fingers. Tell me, who is the most powerful in the game of chess? The queen, I said. She goes wherever she wants to. But she is stuck on the board, said the KGB man. No, it is not the queen. It is the player, the one who moves the pieces. Oh, I said, okay. Today I am a spy, said the KGB man, but I will not be forever. I have plans. He set the pawn down on the board and smiled at me. You want this stuff back? I will give you a chance. You and I, we will have a competition. Deal, I said. I reached for a white pawn. It is a lot easier to win at chess if you make the first move. Not chess, he said. Karate. The KGB man tore off his uniform. Underneath, he was wearing a white gi and a black belt. At this point, it should be clear that I did not know karate. "Hi-ya!" shouted the KGB man. He leapt across the desk and set upon me with furious chops and punches. Books were knocked everywhere. The chess set was toppled to the floor. Freddie began barking furiously and wagging his tail. For a time, I was able to hide underneath the desk. I flashed back to everything I knew about karate from listening to kids talk in the schoolyard. Derek LaFoy was always going on about pressure points. He said the human body had 7 of them, and a single hit to one could knock someone out or even kill them. Often he would demonstrate by aiming a slow-motion chop at the crook of my neck. "I won't actually do it," he would always say, "otherwise I'd go to jail." The primary pressure points of the human body, according to Derek: temporal artery, brachial artery, carotid artery, radial artery, tibial artery, abdomen, dorsalis pedis artery. Pressure points. They were my only hope. "Hi-ya!" I cried. I rushed out from beneath the desk and attempted to land a chop to the KGB man's neck. The KGB man swept my legs and I fell to the ground. "Give up?" he asked. "Never." He twisted my arm behind my back and pushed my face into the carpet. It was a beautiful rug. "Give up?" "No," I said. My defiant answer was muffled somewhat by the carpet. The KGB man placed me in a vicious headlock. His bicep was lodged against my windpipe. I could hardly breathe. "Freddie!" I cried. "Help! Attack!" Freddie was in the corner, joyfully licking some spilled milk. I rolled my eyes. Then I got an idea. Oh man, and that's where we're going to end for today. Wow. We are going to find out how this book ends tomorrow, though. It's the last 2 chapters tomorrow of Mac Be Kid Spy, Mac Undercover. We will see you then. Bye-bye.